Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. In this political firestorm that we are in, I record this on Saturday the 11th, a little after 12:30. One person seems to be missing from the fray, and that would be J.D. Vance, the Vice President-elect. And I put Vice President in air quotes because although he was the Vice President on the ticket, it sure looks like Elon Musk is going to be running the country and Donald Trump is going to be his dancing monkey who implements all those things. J.D. Vance is literally a third wheel in this whole process. When I did readings on this before, I figured, J.D. Vance is this, he's very ambitious, and the first thing they're going to do when he has an opportunity is 25th Amendment Trump right out of there. Or, you could just offer Trump a pardon on all his cases and then kick Trump out. And I should probably look at the energy of that, make this a little bit of a longer reading, because that could still happen. But assuming that Trump gets in, I don't think Trump's really interested in stepping down, because look what's happened with his court cases. The Mar-a-Lago documents case and the January 6th case have been put on ice, and he's going to have an attorney general come in who will just basically bury those things so deep that you won't see it until another administration comes in. So that's 2 down. Fani Willis has been taken off his Georgia case, and he will do everything as the president to tie that thing up in the courts, and they're not going to prosecute him. The New York hush money case, that's been adjudicated and done. Now he'll be appealing that, trying to get the sentencing, the non-conditional release off his record, but that's done. There's no freaking court cases left other than civil ones. If he steps out of being the president of the United States, then the George case could come back. Hang on for a second. If he stays in as president of the United States, then that case doesn't go anywhere. Now, as president of the United States, Page of Pentacles time, it's time to grift, and it's time to get even with his enemies in politics. He could do that path, or he can say, you know what, full pardon from Vance, and I'll go on and live my life. Do you think Trump wants to just go on and live his life? We've seen the drama queen in him. We've seen him just fleece his base dry, and now he's getting all of Elon's money too. Why would he leave that? What's his motivation? So he can golf on his golf courses and basically be ignored? No. This little narcissist got a giant dose of attention, and it's like heroin to him. He can't give it up. He's got to be the center of attention, which is why he's not even in office yet, and he's causing all sorts of problems to be the center of attention, to cause that maelstrom that he thrives in. So originally I thought J.D. Vance might try and remove him, but I'm not so sure now. So let's take a look at that energy, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so come on down. Let's look at J.D. Vance and Trump, and how that administration is going to look. Again, should they be inaugurated on January 20th and Trump gets into the White House as the 47th president of the United States? I'm not convinced that that's going to happen yet, but if we go by traditional things, it should. All right, we're going to throw 3 signifiers here, although these 2 cards are great. Tossing him out, and Peter Thiel is the real oligarch here. Elon Musk is the real oligarch here, and people are being tossed out. Let's do one more signifier here with that. And temperance and incorporation. It's almost like they want to throw Trump out, but now it's just a matter of timing, because Trump takes all the heat off of Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Right? The oligarchs. They want to call the shots, but they have a built-in scapegoat in Trump. They can get rid of him anytime. How long does Trump make himself useful? That's the three foundational cards for this. What's going to cross this? It's just the chaos. Whether it's an insurrection, it's the fighting back. Again, for the Peter Thiels, the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, that whole thing, as long as they've got Trump in there doing their bidding, they're fine. But the minute the problem is Trump is a chaos agent. So they're very disciplined about integrating their plans in there, and they've even got a scapegoat. The problem is Trump's the figurehead to get the plans in, and Trump can't be counted on to do it because he's too interested in rabble-rousing rather than actually getting anything done. Underneath it all is the star card. Underneath it all is the best of the United States. This is the calm after the storm. Trump is only interested in getting the storm ginned up. They don't want the calm to actually get things done. And you can only have one star. You have Elon Musk, who's a cult of personality all on his own. Donald Trump, who's another cult leader. So those two are eventually going to be locking horns. Even if they agreed on everything, Elon has to let Trump take all the credit for everything, which Elon may or may do, because Elon's just interested in a global elitism, not just U.S. elitism. Oh, good Lord. Okay, in the past you got the Four of Cups. J.D. Vance was not Trump's choice for VP. Never was. But he was stuck with it. And, for lack of a better description, they're stuck with Trump. They would rather have J.D. Vance be the person doing it, because J.D. Vance would be much more easy to manipulate and get forward, and he could avoid this whole challenge here. But I don't think that's going to happen. Current situation, 10 of Cups. They've got what they've wanted. They got the full Republican-controlled Congress and the presidency and the Supreme Court. These are heady days for the Heritage Foundation and the oligarchs. And the Supreme Court has allowed presidents to be kings, and now they fully intend on implementing their agenda, ruling like kings. Even if they're not the president per se, they are the power behind the throne. The lesson to be learned, though, is the Justice card. The one problem with the United States is that everything can get tied up in the courts. Don't believe me? Look at Donald Trump. He's given a master course on how to tie everything up in the courts so nothing ever happens. The outcome is the 10 of Coins. They want to implement their agenda. They want to be holding on to their money. Ultimately, this is about power control, but it's mostly about wealth and greed. Intergenerational wealth, intergenerational greed. They want to be the rulers of the land, and they never want to give that power back. And ultimately, they will go with whomever they need to go with in order to make and attain that agenda. So if Trump is the best person to help them along with that, they will go with Trump. If J.D. Vance is the best person to go along with that, they will go with J.D. Vance. It's also interesting that you've got the cabinet's going to be made up basically of oligarch billionaires. Hello, Russia. We have now become the Russian form of government in the United States. Doesn't that just warm the cockles of your heart to no end? And again, that's assuming that Trump gets in there, and this whole rating is based on that energy of Joe Biden not coming forward with a free will choice that would say, nah, this ain't happening. How is J.D. Vance feeling about his position as vice president right now? That's what I want to go to next. So we're kind of going stepwise. What do the oligarchs want? What do the Peter Thiels and Elon Musks want? And now let's look at J.D. Vance. How is he feeling? Is he feeling like he's been, like the terms of his vice presidency have been violated? Like he signed up for one job and now it's morphed into something else? These top two cards are going to be fun. I guarantee you, without even looking at them, one of them is the Page of Coins. Why, it might happen to be the top card. How is he feeling about it? Oh, he's the coffee boy. He's the coffee boy. He's the boy that worships the money. I'm actually going to give two signifiers. And, yes, sir. I'd like a cab ride, please, in Elon's cyber cab here. His job is just to keep moving the agenda forward. He doesn't, it's funny in a way he doesn't care. As long as it's like Daffy Duck. I don't care so long as I'm rich. Cross with the death card. But his influence, I think he thought he was going to progress into be the president of the United States. And I think the longer he's in that vice president role, the more he's going to realize that that's not going to happen until Trump dies. No, the only way he's going to become president is the 25th Amendment or Trump dying. I don't know if they're going to get the 25th Amendment or not. Underneath it all is the Three of Wands. But he's looking forward. He's been promised this thing, and he's waiting for the opportunity to come in. But he has to wait for his overlords to tell him what to do and when to do it. In the past, you got the Star card. He won, hell of a lottery to win, but J.D. Vance won the lottery, become the vice president. He knew that as the vice president, he was going to be the president. Trump's not going to last all 4 years, at least from J.D. Vance's point of view. Current situation in the Knight of Swords, J.D. Vance wants to move right away. He wants to get Trump out as soon as possible. But what's the energy? Is that, the underlying energy is you have to wait your turn. The overarching energy is, it's the whole government thing here. You've got Congress you have to consider. You've got Trump's big government plans. They want to transform our government from a democracy, a constitutional republic, to what Viktor Orban refers to as an illiberal democracy. Basically, it's an oligarchy, but it's also like a Christian Taliban, for lack of a better description. The lesson to be learned is, the only way you remove the king is by removing the king. So, J.D. Vance has got a problem here. Either all of Congress and all the oligarchs have to get so fed up with Trump that they have to do that, or J.D. Vance, if he wants to speed it up, he has to start backstabbing Donald Trump and undermining Trump so that he's given his opportunity to lead. Ooh, be careful what you wish for. You might get it. J.D. Vance could very well become the president of the United States, but then what? The job doesn't get any easier. Because now, all of a sudden, you don't have the dancing monkey to distract everybody from what's going on. J.D. Vance is much more slick with his words and the way he does things. And I saw that in the vice president debate. He lies with such ease, and it just snaps right into place. You almost don't recognize it. He's convincing as he lies. The thing is that Trump is not convincing when he lies, but his most rabid supporters don't care. They will care with J.D. Vance for the simple reason that J.D. Vance is not Donald Trump. And even though J.D. Vance may have his hillbilly elegy cred there, he's still going to be considered an elite, like Harvard graduate, Washington, D.C. insider. He's not on The Apprentice with Donald Trump. That type of thing. He's not been in the tabloids since the 1980s. God, what a mess. What a mess. So what does J.D. Vance think of Donald Trump? Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. So what do we got? Trump will get in there, and he's not going to want to leave. As much as he doesn't want to do the job, he's not going to want to leave. So he'll let J.D. Vance do stuff, but J.D. Vance can't do anything without Trump's approval, because Trump has to control everything, right? Even if J.D. Vance is going to implement all the Project 2025 stuff, Trump has to approve it, because Trump has to pee on everything. He's got to be the quote unquote alpha, the top dog, the head gorilla, as it were, in this zoo. And if J.D. Vance goes and does stuff, even though Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are telling him to, Trump will rip him a new one if it doesn't get blessed by Trump. So Vance has got kind of the impossible Mike Pence job. Vance will have to run the country, while Trump golfs and goes after his political enemies and grifts. All right. What does J.D. Vance think of Trump? And then we'll throw about what does Trump think of J.D. Vance, if he even does. Four-carder. Not his cup of tea. Vance has to work hard for his money. Trump has never worked hard for his money. But, Trump walks around like he's a freaking prima donna. And J.D. Vance is doing all the work, and Trump's going to take all the credit. Oh, isn't that just the greatest employee-boss relationship ever? And Trump's lazy. He's lazy and entitled because he thinks he's a star because of The Apprentice. Now, this card is about apprenticeship. JD might start talking. He's going to start undermining Trump. He's going to be talking about Trump behind Trump's back. About this guy is just this egotistical, lazy F who only got lucky because some idiot at NBC decided that for some pretty good ratings, they will rebrand Trump as a success instead of a failure. J.D. Vance he sees Trump for who Trump is. Let's put it that way. He sees Trump for who Trump is. J.D. Vance came up with much more humble beginnings. And through his abilities and chameleon behaviors and his ability to turn a phrase, has worked his way up. Charming a billionaire, helped him politically and financially, and he is where he is today through his ability to manipulate. He looks at Donald Trump, it's like that dude was born with the silver spoon in his mouth, and he basically understands that everything Donald Trump touches turns to garbage. Everything he touches is destroyed. What does Trump think of Vance? Does he even think of Vance? What does Donald Trump think of J.D. Vance? I don't know what the coffee boy card is. Maybe we'll find out. The justice card. What on earth does that mean? Is he the one he's going to throw under the bus? Let's see. This could, without looking at any of the cards, the first thing is like, if I get into legal trouble, I'm going to blame Vance. And the other thing is the law requires me to have a VP. The Chariot, the Star card, the Hang. Oh, good Lord! All major arcana too. All major arcana. Good heavens! All right. Trump looks. Vance is Trump's insurance policy. Trump is the star. He can't be captured. Trump is lazy, and he's worried about like the Justice Department. But this card is what made me gasp. It's like the Hangman. Vance is the guy he's going to toss under the bus, and here's the bus. Trump can't go to jail because he's a star, but he needs scapegoats to throw under the bus when things don't work out well, because Trump is lazy and entitled. Good Lord, I don't think I've ever done a spread like this where I've gotten all 5 major arcana. Heavens. Anything else with that? Yeah. I think he just thinks of J.D. Vance as being a bit weird. If you want to get really catty, that J.D. Vance has mommy issues because of his mom's addictions, and J.D. Vance just has this weird outlet. He just thinks of him as being weird. And it's probably because J.D. Vance knows how to drive a car, that type of thing. In some ways, Trump looks at J.D. Vance as lesser than because J.D. got his money from a sugar daddy. But Trump likes to think that, he's this really awesome businessman. Good Lord. It's funny. If Libby, you're watching this one, I'd love to get your take on that. Those are some major cards there. I'll have to see if I can remember this one tonight. Sometimes, this happened a lot when I first started my channel 2 years ago. When I did readings, even for friends, I would ruminate on it for a while. And then the next day, I would have some extra insight. This would be one of those spreads that might give me extra insight later on. Let's put it this way. Trump doesn't think of J.D. Vance as some an appendix, or tonsils. He doesn't know what he's good for. Trump has plans for J.D. Vance. Don't think they're good plans. That chariot could be about succession, or the justice card about succession. Who's going to take over when I leave the shop, type of thing. But that's not how Trump thinks. Trump's all about himself and his ego. Oh, that's just a wild one. Okay. Will J.D. Vance remove Donald Trump? Will J.D. Vance remove Donald Trump? Or let's see. Yeah, God, there's so many ways to ask this. Because I want to ask, will he Fifth Amendment him? Will he pardon him? Let's just ask, will J.D. Vance either give Donald Trump a pardon, 25th Amendment and a pardon, or give him a pardon and have Trump remove himself? That type of thing. Will Trump be removed? Will Trump leave the presidency with a pardon? Hell, even Biden could be working on a deal with Trump right now about pardoning Trump as long as Trump admits that the election was stolen. That's one of the prevailing current little fun theories we got bandying about. But Vance and Trump, how does that end? King of Cups, I think there's your Joe Biden card right there. Let's do a full. I was going to do a 4. Let's do a 7 card. Celebration. Hostage situation. Bringing things to an end. This is about Biden and his free will choices on the election. Hands are tied. End of the term. Keeping things quiet. This could be the world helping out here. Coming forward with information. Secrets. And there's that evaluation card. Following the money. Honestly, with that, I don't think we're going to get J.D. Vance. If this were a J.D. Vance, like I asked the question, here's J.D. Vance being a more mature person, coming in the office, being stuck as Trump second a thing. But when at the end of Trump's term, they're going to keep their mouths shut. They're going to offer him a pardon, and they're going to keep that pardon secret. 25th Amendment or pardon, they're going to keep that secret. There are secret deals being made. But I think this is really about Biden and the election. And they followed the money. They have the evidence. They know that Trump was involved in it, but they're going to give Trump the out that Trump was the victim here. They'll let Trump play the victim. Five Eyes, the world coming in. They've kept it hush-hush. They've given Trump that offer, and they will keep the offer. They're going to keep a lot of secrets. Do not lose hope. Do not lose hope that Trump is going to get in. I am not giving up hope yet. There is stuff going down. And I don't think it's going to be J.D. Vance that boots Trump out. It's going to be Biden. Wasn't expecting that one. And, here I am getting all catty, having a fun old reading, and then I get hit with that little doozy at the end. Well, again, it's the 11th. We got 9 days for the inauguration. If this is going to happen, it's likely going to happen in a week. So we'll see what next weekend has in store for us. I'll leave it here. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.